All right. So,
Which I'm going.
I would go if I was in town.
What time are you going to go at?
I mean, I get done at 4, so
I might meet you there.
We'll see. And I was curious. I was curious about the fact that I think it might just be for the grand opening. I could be wrong, but at the very least, this coming Friday, the 22nd, as you listen to this, they allow you to actually walk out onto the kind of part of the concourse. They're going to open part of the concourse.
I think they will. Yeah.
So it'll allow you to get better views and pictures of the field itself.
The biggest thing about this brew house, Brew Hall, is the fact 96 local rotating beers. 96. I'm telling you, we go to...
You mean 9, right?
No, 96.
Oh.
Stevens, we've gone to New Bohemia.
Yeah.
They don't have 96.
I don't think so. They have a lot.
Well, they probably like 25, 30.
But they don't have they have local, but they also have non-local. Yeah. We've gone to what's that place in St. Louis Park? The Pour House.
Pour House, yeah.
They have a lot, but they're not all local.
Right.
We are talking 96 local beers, guys.
Yeah, and it reminds me of the Yard House. I think it's a chain, but I've been to the one in Denver.
The Yard House, that's the one in St. Louis Park. Sorry, not the Pour House.
Yeah.
But they don't have 96 local beers.
Right.
They have a bunch of other.
Yeah, they have
a bunch
the
of
one
locals.
in Denver has like 110, but yeah,
it's not all local. This is 96 again, local beers.
Yeah, I can't fathom this.
Obviously they have this. I mean, logistically, you'd think that'd be a nightmare to maintain that many kegs. But they must put it down below where
here's my deal, right? So Summit is the sponsor, right? Summit's going to have at least 7 or 8 of those taps, I'm sure.
Probably.
Surly's going to have at least a couple.
Yeah, they have the black and blue section, which is Summit, Surly, and Lupulin.
Lupulin, really?
Yep.
My goodness.
Oh, and that, just looking into it. So, I mean...
Sorry, Dave. How did Lupulin get into this?
I don't have info on that. But the black and blue section is Summit, Surly, and Lupulin.
Lupulin is from Big Lake.
That is correct.
That is not a big... they're a great brewery.
I wonder if maybe they're doing some type of special for Allianz. I would imagine since Surly's no longer doing Rising North in cans, I think they're devoting it all to the kegs at Allianz.
That I think you just nailed it, because I remember talking to the guys up at Alloy, friends of ours, friends of the podcast, and we asked them that exact question. Do you think you'd be featured there? And I think he was a little bit concerned with the volume of beer that they need to supply it. But if you're focusing on, it's different. If you're like David, like you mentioned, if you're focusing on kegs, maybe you can handle that. Whereas if you're focusing on a smaller batch or cans or cannery, then you just might not be able to keep up.
My thing is this. Again, Summit, Surly, those are big hitters in this market. Lupulin is not a big hitter.
Right.
Again, great craft brewery. I've been there a couple times. We want to do a podcast up there at some point. But to have them in the same conversation as Surly and Summit, that's amazing.
Yeah,
You'd think that maybe like Shells would get in there. That's what gets me about... Off topic, guys. Target Field. Their brewery, microbrewery they have in there is Goose Island from Chicago.
Right. How disappointed were we when we went to Twins Fest?
Again.
And the craft beer area.
And I'm going, Shells is in New Ulm. Right. Get Shells. Get Surly. Get Summit. Why are you going to Goose Island in Chicago, one of your rivals... To do that that's just stupid.
Your biggest rival, the taco truck just.
Sorry, that's my rant for the day.
Tony's fired up. I can just.
The taco truck just arrived.
Oh, taco truck just arrived.
You should give a shout out to it.
Who is it?
We'll get
soda. Danielle, you want to come over here and talk? Go ahead. Oh, she got something in her mouth. But what is?
Sorry, we've put Danielle on the spot.
Put her on the spot. Go ahead. Danielle from 56 Brewing.
Yep.
Who's outside right now?
The taco truck. Mm-hmm. They're delicious.
Got
quesadillas, tacos, any meat you want.
Got
really affordable, really delicious. Good bar food.
Giddy up.
In the spirit of St. Patrick's Day.
You're having
like
Mexican
what says
goes.
St. Patrick's Day here. Then to talk taco truck.
Yeah,
Of course,
exactly.
yeah.
I agree.
So here we are.
Well, you couldn't have like a corned beef and hash
So
truck.
the
could you?
food trucks are
Well,
they
they
a
could
daily
be
thing?
quesadillas with corned beef and hash.
Weekends.
Weekends, okay.
Wednesday nights for trivia.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
So you guys pretty much have a food truck Wednesday nights and then Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Otherwise, we do pop-ups.
Okay.
Pop-up
Cool.
shops.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
You guys
Right.
need more beer?
Yeah, you know what? I'll take man.
How was the flight? Was it good?
The flight was
It
great.
was. There
And the
wasn't
new
a bad
that
line
the
there.
Sexy Beach, that's the new
Yeah,
one,
it's
right?
phenomenal.
That's the new milkshake.
That's
IPA.
right. Okay. I'm gonna take the Cali Street.
Sounds good.
Thank
Anyone
you.
else?
Try the
anyway.
Hellies.
Hollis?
Yep.
Tried number 1 yet?
Do you guys like IPAs?
Yeah, let's do the Peach Street.
The Peach Cowboy?
Yeah.
Peach Cobbler.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just all of a sudden had a flashback to Colorado.
Yeah.
There's a distillery called Peach Street.
Oh, Peachtree. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was Danielle from Daniela, I think. Daniela. From 56 Brewing, talking about the food truck out there. They have Mexican food for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Do you think they put like green food coloring in the meat?
I would not.
Make a green taco, maybe?
That would actually maybe turn people off.
Let's go back on track here. Let's go back to Allianz Field. because-
No, I think with regards to the food, I mean,
Yeah.
Ireland is not known for their food. Let's
Yeah,
just make
I know,
that clear.
That's a good point.
You know,
They're
they
not.
definitely aren't. No, don't get me wrong. You can go to Ireland and have a great dinner, but they're not known for their food. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just how that
So-
goes.
Allianz-
Most people don't eat on St. Patrick's Day. They just drink.
They just
I
drink.
mean,
They drink green beer.
Cali Street?
That's me.
You got the Cali Street.
Thank you.
By the way, we do not deliver beers to the table.
I was going to say...
Oh, well,
Okay,
I appreciate
so anyone that
Please make that known.
Anybody
We
listening
will,
to
we
this,
certainly
she
will.
does not deliver beers to the table for regular people, just special people.
which
Yeah.
makes us feel special.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's funny. I actually did want to bring that up. I would say one of the few, brew pubs that we've been into that we actually had table side service. I know, what was it, Blue Wolf? We
Blue
did.
Wolf does do table
That's
service.
normal,
Yeah.
but it's a rarity in this market.
It is not, and,
Yeah.
and there's a couple of new breweries that are coming up that
Yeah.
do table service. But
And I'm not
this place
complaining about that.
No.
I'm just
Right, yeah.
pointing it
We're
out.
just special
Yeah.
people that
Yeah.
they like us. So, anywho, Allianz Field, sorry about the dog. The brewery, Brew Hall opens up next Friday. I think we're all excited about it. I'm excited because we're going to be at opening day on April 13th.
Right.
Yep.
And Tony will be in the Brew Hall pretty much the whole game. I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that, Tony, because that rolls right into the point that I was going to bring up. I mean, you could fall victim to that and get stuck in
it's
there during the game.
I'm going to need you guys maybe to. Do you guys have like a rope you could put on me to keep me away from
However-
the Brew Hall?
Oh, we could tie something to your ankle.
We might
Yeah.
we might not need it, because the beautiful part now, maybe not for these first couple games, we'll see. But the nice thing about it is they have big garage doors that actually open up to the concourse,
Yes.
and so
Yeah.
you can be served on the concourse. You don't have to
Nice.
enter into the brew hall
Nice.
itself to get a beer. You can just be walking
Yeah.
around the concourse.
And so this was one of the originally I retweeted this announcement from Zagoda, and he actually responded.
I saw that.
And I was like, "Good God, Zagoda responded to me."
This is a podcast.
And I don't know.
I would assume he does.
I hope he does.
I would hope so.
Jerry, if you're listening, shout out to you.
And he responded, and then I asked him if there's any news of whether or not there'd be food all year round, because
Yeah.
he mentioned that LAFC has a similar concept that's open all year round.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that I'm most excited about is open year round. If you want to go out and you're looking for something to do, something unique, you can any day of the week you can go down to the
I'm
Brew
just
Hall
thinking,
in Allianz Field.
Is there a chance that we'd be able to watch like Premier League games?
Is there
on
a chance
Saturday
we could do a podcast
That's what I was
from the
saying. Is there a
Brew Hall?
chance
yeah,
we do
sorry,
a
that-
podcast
on a
was
non-game
also-
day?
And again, at that you bring up a good point, because I thought the same thing when they said open year round. I'm going podcast,
It would break from our norm of breweries, but a brew
but
hall.
local breweries
for the
Yeah.
stadium. We would make an exception,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
we'd be sampling local
Local
beers,
beers, yeah.
so
Exactly.
it fits right in.
But again, this place is going to be open year round. I'm going to say it again: 96 local brews on tap, rotating. So you're going to get the Summits, you're going to get the Surleys, you're going to get the Lublins, but you're going to get probably the 56s. You might get some Dangerous Mans. You might get some Omnis. You might get some Alloys. You might get some Victuses, places we've gone.
Yeah, I would assume Castle Danger.
I'm sure there's going to be Shells out there.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. And I'm very excited. And you guys, the first game left. Actually, I was thinking, like those little backpacks for kids, if you want to keep your kids close. You put one of those on me so I can't. The leash. So I can't go in there Right.
I mean, like any new stadium, it's gonna. I think and I wanted to bring this up. John always kind of, when he's watching MLS matches, a lot of times one of the things he looks for, and I'm not sure why, but he'll look at attendance.
Oh, of course,
and he'll complain about attendance. I think he even mentioned LAFC last week.
He did.
The attendance was fine. It was their home. I think it was their home opener.
Yeah.
But they lowered their Maybe it wasn't even their home opener, but the attendance was fine. Mm-hmm. I think we might have a problem with the perceived attendance, because at a new stadium, it's kind of like when U.S. Bank Stadium opened up.
Right.
People are going to spend a lot of time walking around and checking it out,
seeing it.
Being in the Brew Hall. So if you've got capacity in the Brew Hall, guess what? Then you're going to have that many seats that are empty. So if you're watching it on TV, it might appear that the attendance is not as good as it actually is.
And that happened at U.S. Bank. I remember because I was there the first. Were you there with the first game I went to there?
I don't believe I was at your first game.
It was me and Mels, probably.
Yeah.
But I remember going, and you didn't know what you were doing in there. So you're walking around kind of trying to figure out where you're going to go. So when the opening kickoff came, I don't think there was people in the stands, but not as many as there would be.
Yeah.
Because they had outside stuff going on and
I could
inside
see that.
stuff going on.
Yeah.
And so with Allianz, I think what's going to happen is the fact that you're going to have so many outside things going on that you're going to,
I think fortunately, the only thing that might help Allianz in perceived attendance is that, if that's what we're going to call it, is the fact that it's not as big.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near as big as U.S. Bank Stadium. There's not as much areas and levels to explore, so it might not get hurt that much. But.
What section are we in again, Sterling?
113.
I'll be the drunk guy in section 113. Thank you.
Let's just not get you kicked out.
I'm not.
That's all I ask.
Well, we are going to dual system before the game, though.
Right.
So that's going to be. Yeah, I told my wife, I'm like, I don't plan on being home that night. I'll be staying.
If I'm in town.
For the opener?
Right.
Wait, there's a chance you're not in town?
There's always a chance with me.
What the hell?
I'm going to be optimistic and say that I'm going to be in town, and I'm going to put it on my schedule.
Well, you better.
There's a good chance I'll be in town for it. Let's put it that way.
This is why we don't. I don't know why we hired this.
See,
guy.
I didn't even want to say it, but I didn't even want to say it. I didn't want to bring it up, but I felt like I had to.
Well, Nels probably may have a ticket then.
Well, Nels could do it, and Johnny will be on.
Yeah,
he'll be there.
I'm committed to the game.
disappointed.
I'm committed to the ticket and the game. I'm just saying there is a chance that something could come up.
Your job is getting in the way of
unless
this
you're-
podcast.
Yes.
Unless
my
you're
day
in
job.
Australia, you better be at the game.
Right. So if I'm in South Dakota, that just wouldn't be good
No,
enough.
you got to drive back.
You get on a biplane. You get
And that's the
over
thing I have going for me. I actually might have a trip to New Zealand the following week, but I think that what's concerning me is I'm not going to get into my job, but I may have to be in South Dakota that week leading up to that game. So, but you're right. It's a 3.5-4 hour drive. I can come back
Yeah.
for the
You
game.
drive
so.
back.
That's
till
it.
You get here.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm going to the game.
You have to be here.
Sorry.
This is the opening game for Allianz Field.
Yeah, I'm going to the game. Okay, done. It's decided.
Come on.
And
My boss doesn't listen to this podcast. I'm still working on that, but I will tell him what I just told you guys.
Yeah, you make sure he understands. What
Make sure
priorities
he
are.
understands what's going on. So we're excited for that. So let's go away from soccer.
Yeah.
We're done talking about soccer now, guys. Let's go on some fun things. Again, we're going to try to do this on our podcast. At the end of the podcast, we're going to try to talk about some fun things going on in the world.
All right.
Sterling brought up a guy.
I'm sure this is really fun.
I know what you're going to bring up, and I'm going to be like, yeah, this. I don't think
really
it is fun.
It's not fun, but it is interesting.
In a way.
So, Sterling, why don't you tell us about what you thought?
So this past week, there was a news story of a mob hit.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, this is 2019. Who talks about Mafia hits anymore?
Well, it doesn't happen. In
This
fact,
is in the 1970s
Yeah.
or 80s.
In fact, 96 was the last time.
that was
there
going to
Mafia.
be my question. When was the last time a Mafia?
Or sorry,